Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk Tuesday about Business. It's Nancy Steidel from the Business Mission. Very delighted to be here with you all. I'm just trying to set this up so it works for everybody. Yes, we're here for Talk Tuesday about Business, 12 noon UK time in the Business Mission's Facebook page. I'm here every Tuesday just to discuss business tips and advice that might help you in your business. I run the firm called The Business Mission, www.thebusinessmission.com, which offers business services such as business plans, strategies, legal contracts, trademarking, all the things that you need to set up a well-established business. I think a lot of people run out there as, they see things on social media and think, you know what, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to get a website, I'm just going to get some social media platforms going, and then they think they've got a business, and it really does come crashing down on them. So it's very important to just slow down and make sure that you've got the right structure on board when you start a business. So today we're going to have some really interesting topics, which is, should you go into business with family and friends? That's a very interesting question there, because a lot of people I do see on Facebook and other social media platforms want to go into business with other people like friends and family. Okay, and then we're going to talk about, should you work with a business mentor or somebody who can help you start a business, or can you actually start the business on your own? Okay, so again, a lot of people are wanting to start businesses and they sort of jump in and they think, you know what, I can do this business on my own. And can they? That's the question. And also, what is the first things which need to be done when setting up a business? Again, I feel that there's a lot of people out there who want to start a business, but they really do not know where to start the business or what steps to take. So we are going to talk about that as well. Okay, so those are the three topics we're going to talk about. It's Nancy Steidel. I'm here today for Talk Tuesday about Business, 12 noon UK time in the Business Mission's Facebook page. Okay, so let's get on to the first question, which is, should you go into business with friends or family? I know they're very supportive people at times, and many people go into business with friends and family, but they fail to do a business partnership to start with, okay? And this becomes a real long mess in the long term, along with very limited clarity in which each person is bringing onto the table. I know you might get very excited because you love your sister or you love your brother or you love your mom or your dad. And while you will all get very high and excited about this business, and the good times are going to come in and there's going to be lots of, exciting things with the business, there does come a lot of demands with a business as well. Okay. I find personally in business, there are two things which change people, which is greed and poverty. So when the money comes in, it's all very exciting and you can get very greedy. But when the business hits a block, okay, or it becomes very challenging, you also find the real character of people you do business with, okay? And with a family, it's even more intense. Now, I want to give you a scenario with a client of one of my clients that I have had, and maybe this will give you a better picture about when you decide to go into business with a friend or a family member. Okay, so I recently had a client who started a business with his wife, okay, and his brother in the business, and 10 years later, the pressure of the ups and downs of the business did come into place. Okay, so they had a very inconsistent business pattern, and there were a lot of disagreements on how the business was to function, and this really got the best of them. Now, because they got excited, and the husband trusts the wife, and the husband's brother, he thought, oh, it's my brother, but they had no partnership agreement in place, okay? So it got very, very messy. Okay, one spouse sued the other spouse and took 75% of the business. The brother sued the other brother, and the wife and the other brother got the remaining 25%, and they all fell out and they no longer speak. The wife and the husband divorced, and sadly, the brother committed suicide It was just too overwhelming for him. Okay. The other spouse was left with nothing and actually had to move onto a sofa of a friend's house. And the emotional trauma of losing a business he put his heart and glory in for 10 years, and not a dime was left to his name. Okay. So when you are starting a business, the honeymoon period is always really, really lovely. However, like a marriage, there might be the outcome of divorce, and it's always better to prepare the prior in the long run. Okay, so a business partnership agreement, if you are going to go into business with any of your friends and any of your family members, and some people say, should I do that? It's okay, you can do that, but you must have a business partnership agreement to offer a very clear and defined understanding from the very onset of what everybody's role is going to play in this business. Okay, what a business partnership agreement does, it outlines how much each person is going to inject money into the business and what their share will be. Okay, I think a lot of people, they go and they set up a limited liability partnership through Companies House or through the government, and they think that they are going to be covered. And it is a very big surprise for them, because that's only on the legal side, like when you register your taxes. But what a full-blown, written out business partnership really does is define the roles, the money, who's going to get what. And for example, another crucial point is the natural fact. If one of the business partners passes away, who will take over their share fully? Or if there's another person that's going to enter the partnership, how are they going to be agreed upon? Okay. My personal suggestion to you out there who is deciding to set up business, even if it's not friends and family, but more crucial if it's friends and family, is to avoid being naive to the fact that these things, when you are in an optimistic and glorious place, when you're excited to start the business, just pause and simply implement a business partnership agreement from day one, just to make sure that everybody has a really clear understanding and you can avoid these long-term pitfalls which may occur if you don't have a partnership. Something in writing is always going to give you a little bit more strength when it comes to situations in business. Okay, I've helped over the past 20 years, many clients set up contracts and agreement to safeguard their business practices. And in the end, it was really, really a blessing in disguise that helped them through very challenging situations with maybe their employees or even their business partner. So if you do have any questions about a business partnership agreement or any contracts in your business, which really should be the first thing you do before you start a business, is get those foundations in place, get those legal documents in place, and it will really help you on this business journey that you may be embarking. Okay, and even if you are in business right now and you haven't done your contracts, you can still do them. You can take a step back and do them as well. Okay, it's Nancy Steidel from the Business Mission. I'm very delighted to be here with you on Talk Tuesday about business, offering business tips and advice. If you do know anybody that is starting a business, maybe with a friend or family, please feel free to share this Facebook Live with them as well. So we're on to the next question is, should you work with a business mentor to start a business, or can you actually start a business on your own? Okay, so again, a lot of people on social media, they have the ambition and drive to start a business, and it's very obvious that they want to do the business, but do they have the expertise to structure a business for success? That's a different question. Having a passion to do a business, but knowing how to structure it to make money is a totally different ballgame. Okay, so imagine you want to build a house. Okay, would you try to draw your own blueprint, or would you hire an architect to help you draw that blueprint? Okay, to correctly draw that blueprint. Okay, I certainly do not know how to build a house. So I would go pay an expert for their field. I would do my due diligence, but I would pay an expert for their field to help me draw that blueprint to make sure I get it right. Okay, because you have to submit this blueprint into the council in order to get planning permission. Okay, if you have never started a business before, invest in working with somebody who has started their own business and helped others start their own business. Okay. As the saying goes, it costs more to fire than to hire. It can cost you a lot more money if you think, hey, I know what I'm doing, and then it all comes crashing down. Okay. There is needed risks and there is unneeded risks. So once you've worked with somebody who can show you how to set up the business, well, then you can go off and set up as many businesses as you want. But initially, work with somebody who can help you, and it really will eliminate a lot of the stress in a business. Okay, never ever cut corners when starting a business. Okay, business is very easy, but it is us who complicate it because we go off and try to do something we know nothing about. Just because we've got a passion, like, you want to sell ice cream and you're very excited about ice cream, but structuring it is a totally different ball court. Okay. And so work with somebody who can help you, learn from an expert, and then the joy of the business journey will be very enjoyable. So I help people set up businesses. I've been doing it for over 20 years, and I can definitely guide you. I will not do your business plan for you, but I will guide you so you learn something new from the process of doing a business plan, and then you also understand what is going in your business as well. So it's Nancy Stottle from the Business Mission. Very delighted to be here with you. That should answer your question. Should you work with a business mentor or somebody to help you set up your business, or can you start the business from your own? Well, you can definitely start a business on your own, but I tell you, the journey is not going to be very delightful or enjoyable because it'll be very stressful because you're going into something you don't know much about. Your passion will not be enough. Okay, so on to the final question today, which is, what is the first things that need to be done when setting up a business? Okay, so I've put a couple steps here together because I've seen around Facebook a lot of people trying to give that advice of how to set up the business. And the first one I seen the other day was run and go set up a Facebook page. And I thought, oh my God, that's why 98% of businesses collapse by year 3, because there is no structure in that model. Okay, so here are some things that I want you to think about when you start wanting to start a business. The first thing is, have you saved up enough money to start a business? Do you have a second income to live off to fund this business idea? Have you saved up for long-term expenses? Okay, you need money to start a business. Okay, you need money. If you think you can start a business with no money, you will be in for a big surprise. Even if you try to get favors from people, those favors will run out, and believe me, you will be very stuck. So you need to have money to start a business. It depends what sort of business, of course. If it is a consultancy firm, if it is services or products or something, might not be as much, but you need money. If you've never structured a business before, hire somebody that can help you build through that. You need trademarking, you need legal contracts, all those things. Okay, they all cost money. You need a kitty on the side for those rainy days as well. Okay, number 2, when you want to start a business, you have to think if you've had experience in that field. Okay, let's say you want to open a cigar bar or a jazz bar. Have you worked in that sector before to understand the overall logistics about it? Just saying, I like ice cream, I'm going to set up a business. Have you worked behind an ice cream parlor? Have you served ice cream? Have you worked at an ice cream shop? Just so that you really understand the logistics. Now, obviously working there and running a business are two different things, but at least you can understand the industry that you want to go into. Okay, so understand, have you got experience in that? Okay, so that number 1 is money, number 2, experience, and number 3 is, Have you done a written business plan for your idea? Okay. Have you done all the strategies, the marketing, the brand, the social media, the sales? Realistically, a good year should be offered to strategies and plans. You know, when you decide to have a baby, it sits for 9 months in the womb. Okay. That's the same with business. When you have an idea, then you must spend time putting the strategies and the foundations together from the onset. When you build a house, you don't just run and buy the door, the window, the wall. You work with the architect first. You put the blueprint in. You make sure that the blueprint is right. You send it to the council. The council will take 3 or 4 months just to review it and make sure. So good, solid business comes with good, solid strategies and foundations. And that's a point. You need to make sure that you understand who your audience is and create them. And that takes a while. When you do a marketing, you have to understand the growth and the size of your market. And that will take time to research that as well. Okay, so really a good year, if you're quick, maybe so, but if you rush the foundations, that's where the business will collapse. Okay, so number 4 is, what sort of mindset do you have to start a business? Are you one that will keep going even if there are challenging times ahead? Or do you simply give up when the going gets tough? Okay, so starting a business, you have to have the mindset, the determination, the consistency. You have to become a consistent person, because consistency is what's going to give your audience the reassurance that you're going to be there. So are you one of these people that can keep going even if you feel low? Okay, there are those low days in business and you don't feel like getting out of bed, you're not making any sales. You got to push yourself forward and keep doing that. Okay, so remember, being passionate about what you do, turning it into a business, and understanding how to structure a business for success are 2 totally different ball courts. Okay, you can be the best security guard in the world, but do you know how to do marketing and build a sales team, or understand how to do a business plan and the groundwork? Okay, so these are starting points. There's a lot more, like you need trademarking and legal documents. If you want to discuss any further steps about starting a business and how to start a business, then please do come see me. I can offer that direction and information and support to get you started. Create a really good business plan. That's really where it starts, and to prove to yourself that your idea will work. With all the structure in place, there is no problem for the plane to drive off the runway because you have placed that very solid runway. Anyway, Nancy Stidle from the Business Mission. I hope that you've got some information from this Talk Tuesday this week. I will be here next Tuesday, 12 noon UK time, in the Business Mission's Facebook page to address other business tips and advice. I wish you a very successful and positive and productive week ahead in your business. Thank you very much.